Hey my beautiful friends, welcome back to another vinyasa practice. Oh my goodness, the weather today is amazing. We've definitely been transitioning into winter in New Zealand over the last couple of weeks. It's been so stormy and rainy, and I have no idea how I'm out here with you guys, but I am so grateful that I am. Today's class is going to start with some breath awareness, and then we're going to head through a couple of really mindful asanas or asana flows. We're going to have a couple of standing and a couple of seated, focusing a lot on opening through the hips, but also just full body as well. And then we're going to finish with a seated meditation. The concept that I wanted to bring into this practice is the idea of samskaras. Now, samskaras are deep impressions that we have as a result of past actions. Now, we all have samskaras, and these can either be a little bit more positive or they can be more harmful, just depending on what they are. Now, the analogy, the image that I like to do when understanding this concept is that you have a mountain and you have water flowing down it. So let's say that you're in control of the water and you come to a point where you can go right or you could go left, and you choose to go right. And now every time that you choose to go right, it's going to form a deeper riverbed, and it's more likely to always go right, even when you don't actively choose that. Now, at any point, if you wanted to try go left, it's going to be very difficult to do so because you're so used to going right. Okay, so if we think about our actions and how that results in habits, and how those habits reinforce certain behaviors and certain perspectives that we have in life, so we've all got them. Now, with our yoga practice, we want to try and challenge those samskaras a little bit. So you know you have a samskara when you try and do the opposite thing and it just feels wrong and uncomfortable, and you don't want to go that way. And so sometimes we have to do that in order for us to change, especially if those samskaras, those habits and those impressions you notice are harming yourself or harming other people or other places or things around you. So in our physical practice, we are going to be kind of questioning any physical habits that we have created within our asana practice. We're also going to be just noticing the different thoughts and narratives that might be on play without us knowing it. And what we want to do is try and extend the gap time between these thoughts and these actions. So that's one of the purposes of yoga, is to, when something happens, we have more time to choose our response. Okay, so we're not at the whim of anything else or our habits. We have choice over our decisions, and we can make those choices to better serve ourselves and better serve others. Okay, I reckon we get into our practice now. So let's find our way into a cross-legged position. Now, I am going to encourage you to try and take the more uncomfortable foot out in front. We've all got one side that feels more comfortable and one side that feels more challenging. So let's find that way first. Now, if you feel warm enough, feel free to bring that foot up onto the higher or lower part of the leg. Otherwise, just keep it down on the ground. When you're ready, see if you can find a tall spine that's going to allow us to breathe a little bit deeper. So take a big breath in, lift up. Exhale, can you feel the sit bones ground down towards the earth beneath you? Also, it is a little bit windy today, so I hope that it doesn't interfere with our practice too much. Just notice where the breath is falling at the moment without trying to change anything. Of course, when we say that, it often changes. It's just the nature of it. As best as we can, just try to keep the breath neutral. And then when you're ready, we're going to start to practice some expansion of our breath. So start to breathe a little bit deeper into the diaphragm. You've probably all heard me say this many times. Breathe deep into the ribs, expand all four corners, all four sides of the ribs, expand into the chest. And then exhale, feeling that pull inwards, the softening of the ribs slightly, the draw up of the belly. And it's with this attention to our breath that we can influence our prana, our life force. Hence the name pranayama. Prana being life force and the yama meaning to expand. And begin to just notice the mental land that you may be residing in at the moment. So noticing any thoughts you may be experiencing. As well as perhaps some deeper layers of yourself. How's the heart space feeling? How's the spirit feeling? What's the energy like in these more subtle parts of ourselves? In our practice, it's not about the asana, although there is some level of gratification for improving these with our focus and with our breath awareness. But the most important reason why we practice asana, or one of them, is that so that we feel more centered and still and open for our meditation. So let's just try and take 3 to 5 more breaths here. Feeling the coming into ourselves, entering the space of our home within. Maybe you start to crack open the eyelids slightly. We're going to take a fold here. Big breath in, lift up tall. Exhale, can you walk yourself out front? So it might just be a little walk forward, and you might be able to reach the arms out a little bit more. Maybe you close down the eyes for a moment. Can you keep the breath flowing in and out through the nose, inflating the back of the ribs? Feel free to maybe make a little sway from side to side. Whatever feels good with you right now. When you're ready, just walk yourself back. Big breath in, lift up tall. Exhale, we're going to turn towards the knee, whatever is on the top. So maybe the back of the hand presses along the thigh. Can you twist your eye gaze around your shoulder? Try to draw the opposite shoulder away from the ear. When you're ready, come back through center and we'll swap it out. So cross the other leg out in front. Big breath in, lift up tall. Exhale, fold forward. At any point, if you find your focus drift away from the physical forms within your body, away from your breath, just encourage yourself to come back. And just remind yourself that every time you do that, you are forming a new pathway, a new way that the river is going to go down. And the more that we can reinforce that coming back with kindness, the easier it will be as we keep practicing. Start to walk yourself back up. Big breath in, lift up, tall. Exhale, let's twist towards the other side. So So again, try to draw the shoulders down, find length through the lower spine, breathing in to lift tall. Exhaling, maybe twist a little bit deeper, try not to force it though. When you're ready, come back through center. We're just going to take our feet together, knees come wide to find our Baddha Konasana. So hands are going to come behind for this option. You can always have your feet out a little bit more. You can always lean yourself back a little bit more to find a tall spine. Big breath in, lift tall. Exhale, can you draw the knees out wide and imagine the insides peeling open just like a book. Now you can, if you want to, you can tap the knees up and down just to bring a little bit more movement into the hip socket. Something that I really like to do, which is a bit more active, is press through the hands and lift the hips just about a centimetre off the ground, or an inch for those fellow Americans out there. And that's just going to give a bit more, allow the gravity to draw the knees down a little bit more. Try one more breath. Really intentional breath. Drop the hips down. Let's cross over the feet. Find your way into a Balasana, child's pose. Knees are going to come wide. Bring the toes together. Bring the hands forward. Ground the third eye down towards the ground, which is the space of the forehead. And it's this third eye which allows us to both see the wisdom from within, but also allows us to see the wisdom from outside as well. Use your next breath in. Start to roll yourself forward towards your hands. Slide the knees in slightly. Squeeze the glutes as you lower your hips down. Find a slight baby cobra variation and then lower yourself to the ground. Inhale as you press up onto the knees. Exhale as you travel your hips back. A couple more times like that. Inhale, roll forward. Arch through the upper back. Exhale, find the ripple down through the spine. Inhale, strong core as you press up. Exhale, travel yourself back. Move with your own breath. Maybe even close down your eyes. I love when you find fluidity and repetition, just to use it as an opportunity to go even more inwards. Now you can absolutely stay here if you wanted and stay with that flow. If you want to try striking cobra, it's a little bit different. What you're going to do is you're going to slide the chest towards the ground, elbows come out wide slightly, then you tuck the elbows in at the bottom, either baby cobra or you push yourself up a little bit higher, and then you come back. So using your inhale to draw through, engage through the back body, and then exhale to press up and back. One final option, if you wanted to, is to tuck onto the toes and lift the knees off when you're in your Balasana position. And then as you strike through, you try keep the knees off the ground, but then bring the knees down and then exhale to roll back. So that's just a little bit more of an active position. If you wanted to, you could go into an Urdhva Mukha Svanasana at the top by coming onto your toes, finding the full extension of the spine. But it's up to you what you want to do. Let's try about 2 more rounds. Warming up through the upper body, warming up through the spine. And when you're ready, just tuck onto the toes. We're going to walk our hands back. Take the feet wide along the mat, Malasana squat. Toes are turned out slightly. Heels are slightly in. Maybe you have the hands out, maybe you have the hands at heart center, maybe you're lifted with the hands down on the ground. You could always find something to slot your hips underneath if you want to make this a little bit more supported. We'll just try a couple of breaths here. Feeling the groundedness of this posture. Keep trying to press the knees out by squeezing the glutes. That's also going to help with lengthening the lower back. Big breath in through the nose, fill up the diaphragm, make this breath slow. Exhale through the nose again. Slow this breath down. Shoulders pull back. Walk the hands out. Find your way into a downward facing dog. Spread the fingers wide. Stay here for a couple of breaths. Great place to just check in with the mind. Something that I've been really enjoying recently is shifting my heels to one side, kind of dropping the hips a bit and then opening through the side body. So whatever arm is in the opposite way that you're dropping the hips, you just press that into the ground a little bit more. It's such a great way to open through the ribs, the intercostal muscles, side of the arm. And then when you're ready, let's walk our way towards the top of the mat. Maybe bring your feet about hip width distance. Maybe you bring the big toes together, heels slightly apart. And then can you start to fold the upper body forward? So imagine like your hips are the top of a waterfall. Can you imagine the water just starting to flow and rush down your back? Letting that lengthen your upper back slightly, lifting the hips a little bit more. Bring the hands towards the shins or the ankles. Breathe in, lift yourself halfway, shoulders slide back slightly. Exhale, fold yourself down, Uttanasana. Inhale, sweep the hands high. Squeeze the glutes, maybe you lift the eye gaze to the thumbs. Exhale, hands down by the sides. We're going to try 4 rounds of Surya Namaskar. With this, I really want you to, at least for the first 2, really notice your habits within this. Noticing maybe what foot you step onto first, which foot comes last. Okay, we've all got feet that we prefer, so really notice that. Big breath in, sweep the arms up and over, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, soften the knees, tip yourself forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Maybe lift the eye gaze slightly. Exhale, notice the feet. Step back, Chaturanga. Come all the way down towards the belly. Untuck the toes. Inhale, Baby Bhujangasana. Pull the shoulders back, elbows tuck in. Exhale, press onto the knees. Tuck onto the toes. Lift the hips up and back. Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Press through the fingertips. Send the hips up as high as you can here. If you've got tight shoulders, keep imagining the chest trying to pull towards the thighs. If you've got very mobile shoulders, thinking about engaging the shoulders more by drawing the ribs in, making space between your ears and your shoulder blades. Use your next breath in to walk to the top of the mat. Notice which foot leads. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold again. Inhale, rise. Exhale, Tadasana, palms forward. Squeeze the glutes slightly. Inhale, repeat. Inhale and lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Again, just noticing. Exhale, not trying to modify anything that we see. Maybe go Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Notice which foot goes first. Lift up tall. Exhale. Notice the feet. About 3 breaths here. So really mindful, we're not rushing this process. Use your next breath in to walk to the top of the mat. Exhale to fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Exhale, hands by the sides. Just hang here for a moment. The next 2 rounds, see if you can play with this a little bit. So if you have your feet wide, maybe you bring the toes together. See if you can switch whatever foot you led with. If you brought your hands wide, maybe you think about bringing it down through center, and either way. Ready? Breathe in, sweep the arms. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, try the opposite foot. Your way back through downward facing dog, trying to be intentional here. Noticing how it feels to switch things up slightly. 3 breaths. Keep dropping the weight of the heels down towards the earth. Inhale, walk with the other foot forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale, Adho Uttanasana. Exhale, fold again. Different hands on the way up, whatever that feels like. Inhale to lift. Exhale, hands by the sides. Let's try that again. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, your way back, slightly different. Hello, Mr. Spider. You look, where are you at? I can't really tell. A few more breaths. We're going to stay in our downward facing dog. Now, it's really important that we change things up slightly, because sometimes we figure things out about ourselves that we didn't know. It allows us to swap perspective. Now, in our main sequence, we're actually going to start with our left leg this time, just to switch things up. Let's inhale, sweep the left toes high, 3-legged dog. As you exhale, can you roll yourself forward, left knee touches towards the nose, set the left foot in between the hands. Start to pick the left hand up, reach it forward. As you exhale, can you backstroke the left hand behind you? While you do this, draw the right foot towards the right side of the mat, left toes towards the left side of the mat, hips go down slightly. Inhale to lift, keep the hips square to the side. Exhale to lower. Nice, strut the hips down towards the ground. Left foot comes to the side, out to the right side of the mat. Inhale, press yourself up into a wild thing variation. Exhale to lower. One more time. Inhale. Squeeze the glutes. Exhale. Look towards the top of the mat. Inhale as you step your left foot in between the hands. Exhale as you start to open towards the right side of the mat. Right heel comes in, both knees press out. Utkatta Konasana. Let's bring the hands through heart center. We're going to stay here for more breaths than we want to. Nice, so drawing the hips in slightly, ribs in slightly, but collarbone is broad. Keep breathing deep. Maybe even finding your Ujjayi Pranayama, the constriction at the back of the throat. If you felt like a challenge, you could see if you can hover the feet, the heels off the ground. And just notice what happens when we are asked to stay in places which are uncomfortable. Two more breaths. Beautiful. Land the heels. Turn the right toes in slightly. Arms come wide. Inhale as we push the hips back and reach the arms forward. Exhale, Utthita Trikonasana. Right hand lifts high. Left knee is softly bent. Ooh. Trying to find a balance here. I feel like the wind is pushing me over. Can you draw the ribs in slightly? Peel the shoulders back. One more breath. And then lower the right hand towards the ground. Come to the side of your mat. Turn the toes in. Prasarita Padottanasana. See if you can bring the hands around the heels, so come outwards. And see if you can use that clasp on the hands to lift the hips up a little bit more and then pull yourself a little bit deeper. Maybe a little shift from side to side feels good here. This asana is such a great way to just bring some blood flow towards the upper of our body. Finding clarity of mind. One more deep breath. When you're ready, start to walk towards your left foot. We're going to slide the right knee in, come down onto your sit bones. So your right foot is out in front. We're going to pick up the left knee. See if you can bring the right hand around the ankle. Your left hand is going to come around the outside of the shin. So we're trying to lift ourselves up tall as much as we can. And then just like you're rocking a baby, see if you can rock your left foot from side to side. This might feel really intense for you, so you can always take the left foot out a little bit more. You can always just find a modification that feels good. If you felt like you wanted a little bit more, you could think about drawing the left toe towards the third eye. Try one more breath. And then when you're ready, let's see if we can take that left foot towards the top of the right knee, so slightly back. This is our Agni, what's it called? Agni Stambhasana. Sorry, I'm still learning a lot of these Sanskrit names. So this is our fire log pose. So left foot is forward. This might feel, again, really intense. So walk it down as you need. If you want a little bit more, big breath in. Exhale, walk yourself forward. Encouraging the heart space to fold over the front of the shins. And when you just come back, keep the legs where they are, but take your hands behind your back, clasp the hands together. Now you're going to notice that your hands are clasped in one way. Can you switch it out? Go the other way. Feels really weird, right? Inhale, see if you can lift tall and revolve the shoulders back, but keep the rib cage in. As you exhale, can you take your hands towards your right side? Start to drop the right ear over towards the right shoulder. Keep breathing. Inhale, come back through center. Exhale, we swap it out. So left hand comes towards the hands come towards the left hip, and we drop the left ear down. Keep trying to find length as much as you can throughout the spine. And this is going to encourage the hips to open, so when we sit in our meditation a little bit later on, we feel more comfortable. When you're ready, come back through center. We're going to vinyasa. That's what we're going to do. Or optional, you can always just send it straight back into an Ardha Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. And just notice if you went back to your the original way that you do the feet. I know I just did it then. Okay, we're going to try that sequence one more time on the other side. Inhale, sweep the right toes high, three-legged dog. Exhale, roll yourself forward, right knee to nose. Round through the upper back and then step the right foot in between the hands. Inhale, sweep the right hand forward and then use the pinky to lead the right hand behind. While you do this, can you drop the left heel down to the side and pivot the right toes to the right side of the mat? Lower the hips down. Inhale to lift and lengthen. This might feel quite a lot. You can always stay in your lunge if you need. Exhale, lower the hips. Inhale, bring the hand towards the front of the mat. Turn the toes. Keep traveling the hips open to the left side of the mat. Utthita Konasana. Intense angle pose. Knees go wide. Again, we're going to hold here. Now, I can't see you, literally because I'm facing away, but also I can't see through the camera. So hopefully you're all doing this. If you want it a little bit more, try lift the heels off. Keep the knees pressing back. Draw the hips underneath you slightly. If you notice tension rising in the face and the jaw and the eyebrows, can you try slide it away? One more deep breath. Land the heels down, turn the left toes in, reach both hands to the side. Inhale, left hips go back. Exhale, hand comes down, Utthita Trikonasana. Now you can always have the right hand a little bit higher. If you want the challenge, see if you can bring the eye gaze towards the left hand. One more breath here. And then when you're ready, left hand comes down, turn the right toes in. Parasarita Padottanasana. Maybe you'd like to take the hands around the outsides of the ankles again, or maybe you'd like to find a different position for you. We won't be here for as long this time. Let's try one more breath. When you're ready, walk towards the front of the mat, slide the left knee in, come down onto your sit bones. We're going to take that little cradle of the foot again. So left hand might come around the side of the ankle, right elbow, right forearm comes around the shin. Keep the right knee pressing out and the right foot pulling in. Maybe a little shift around side to side. Again, if you wanted to try, you can maybe tuck the chin in a little bit. Try not to round through the upper back a lot here to get the foot up. We're trying to isolate through the hip, which means keeping the spine as long as we can. Okay, let's all bring the right foot down towards the thigh. So it's not up in the hip crease like our Padmasana, our lotus pose. It's like the shins are stacked here. Again, modify as you need. Inhale, lift a little bit taller. Exhale, let's walk forward. Let's see if I can get the name right on this one again. Agni, which means fire. Stamba, which means log. Asana, posture, seat. I always find it interesting learning the names of the Sanskrit. So if you are interested in knowing the names more, then please let me know, because I'm always trying to bring in things that you guys really enjoy into these classes. One more breath. When you're ready, walk yourself back. Again, clasp the hands behind. This time we'll do our more comfortable way. Inhale, lift tall. Exhale, let's draw the hands towards the left, draw the ear down. Right shoulder pulls away. Can you keep that right knee pressing down towards the left heel? And we'll try the other side. Inhale. Exhale. When you're ready, come back through center. We're going to find a counter pose to a lot of the hip opening and kind of leg opening that we've been doing, which is our Virasana. And this is our hero's pose. So we can tuck one foot in. The bottoms of the tops of the feet are pointing down. If this feels comfortable, actually this is a really strange way of doing this. Maybe you start with your Vajrasana, which is your thunderbolt pose. Then if it feels comfortable, maybe you take both of your feet out. Maybe the hip bones can sit on the ground with ease, and maybe they don't, okay? This is a very strong asana on our ankles, our knees, and our hips. So if you feel at any point any discomfort within these asanas, maybe you slot a pillow or something underneath to lift you up. If you felt very comfortable here and wanted a little bit more, see if you can clasp your hands around your ankles and just start to lower one elbow down, maybe the other elbow down. You might stay here, or you might come down towards the ground. And to take the back bend out of this a little bit. Oh, I forgot a pose on that second side. Oh, wow. Forgot the wild thing. Okay, this will, we just let it be. See if you can slide the ribs in here. Keep pressing the knees down and squeeze the glutes a little bit, and that's going to keep the opening through the front of the legs rather than making this more into a back bend. Let's try about 2 more breaths. So this is a very internal rotation of the hip joint compared to a lot of external rotation that we've been doing. If you're down, hands come to the ankles, press up onto your elbows, and then start to walk yourself up. Cross over the legs. We're going to find our way down onto our back here. Let's start by hugging the left knee. Let's try the left knee into the chest. Hands come around the shins. And then we're going to try that same action that we did with the cradling of the foot, but just lying down here. So maybe you lift up slightly so that the left hand can clasp around the outside of the left ankle, right hand can come around. You can keep the head down. At any point, just modify as you need. You can always slide the right knee up to give you a bit more of an assistance. If you want it a little bit more, see if you can lift the head up towards the foot. So the toes might reach towards the nose. If you're feeling quite open, maybe toes to forehead. Give a good smell of your feet, whether you've washed them today. And then maybe toes come to the crown of the head. Stay here for just 1 more breath. Keep pressing the left knee back. Okay, come down towards the ground. A few different options. Left hand can come behind the thigh. You can extend the left leg out. Different option. Left hand can come to the outside of the left foot and you can extend your leg out. If you felt quite open within the hips and you wanted a little bit more, keep the left knee bent as you lift yourself up. It's almost like you're trying to hook your left calf over your shoulder like a backpack, as much as you can. Then this time your right hand comes to the outside of the left foot. Left hand can extend to the side onto the fingertips, and then see if you can press the left heel away, opening through the right side body. This is quite intense, so just modify as you need to. 1 more breath. Find your way back through center. Right hand comes around the outside of the left thigh. Extend the left hand to the side. Breathe in. Exhale, let's twist towards the right. If there's another variation of twist that you would like to try here, go for it. When you're ready, we're going to come back through center and try that all on the other side. Right knee comes towards the chest. Maybe you just stay here. If you wanted a little bit more, left hand can come around the right ankle, same with the right hand. Maybe you stay down, maybe you stay lifted. You know your options. Go to a place where you might feel challenged a little bit, but where you can also breathe as well. And be really mindful. One more breath here. Start to lower yourself towards the ground. Find that option of leg extension as you want. So maybe it's just the hand behind the foot or the leg. If you felt open enough, try to lift the shoulders high as much as you can. Slide the shoulder into the knee crease. Left hand comes around the outside of the right foot. Right fingertips come to the side. And then see if you can press that heel out towards the right. So the weight of the right arm is pushing the right leg down. Can you breathe here? And when you're ready, just come back through center. We will find our Shavasana. Of course, if there are any other asanas that you would like to practice today, then please feel free to find those right now. And try and soften the jaw, soften the eyebrows. Watching the breath come and go. Practicing our Vairagya, our non-attachment. Nothing is ever permanent, just like our breath. It never stays. Otherwise, there would be something wrong. If we held our breath at the top, if we held the breath on at the bottom, we're not going to get that supply of oxygen. And so just like our attachment to the rest of the world, maybe experiences or things, holding on, latching on, desperation, it doesn't serve us the best way that we can. If you'd like to finish your practice down on the ground, if you're feeling really good here, then please feel free to stay here. If you wanted to finish with me in a seat, I will meet you there. Just transition very slowly. And the pose that we will sit in, if it feels accessible to us, is our Siddhasana. Siddhu meaning enlightenment. So this is our enlightenment pose. What that looks like is bringing the foot on towards the shin. Maybe you choose which leg is a little bit more uncomfortable. And see if you can lift tall through the spine. And closing down the eyes. And just like I said at the beginning, one of our practices of yoga is extending that gap time between action and response. As well as being able to remold, change our perspectives, change our samskaras. So know that every time that you notice that your mind is away, And every time you encourage it to come back, that's a new pathway, that's a new river formation being made. And the more that we try and reinforce that one contrary to the one that we already have, the stronger that's going to be. We'll just be here for a couple of minutes. Just take note of where you're at right now. We'll take 3 big intentional breaths to close down our practice. So big inhale through the nose. Fill up the diaphragm, the ribs, the chest, that 3-part breath, maybe a little bit more air in at the top. Exhale through the nose or through the mouth. 2 more in your own time. If it feels comfortable, let's bring our hands through heart center or find another gesture, mudra, that feels connected to you. And thank you so much for practicing with me today. There is so much goodness that we can take from our practice of stillness. If you do have any questions, any requests, I would love to hear them, and I really want to make sure that I am being able to serve you. And if you really enjoy this practice and wanted to see a little bit more, wanted to support me on the way of producing free content for YouTube, we will be on the 1st of July launching our Patreon account. And this is a really great way for, if this is something that you want to do. I'll post more details when that comes, but just keep an eye out. I hope to see you again.